Hey guys, Brad from Team Crimson here with
Dekin.
And today we're going to be talking about the new Stoicheia reveals with the Alchemagic, and some other. All right, guys, so we are going to talk about some of the reveals over the weekend first before we get to some of the Stoicheia units. I did want to talk about Dekin. I'm going to have you read first. That is the Prominence Glare of the Bluish Flames, but not a Liberator.
Huh? I heard it was supposed to be a Liberator, but the design team messed that up. So grade 3, 12k, has Excel because talent. Auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, call up to 1 card from among them to Rearguard Circle, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, cost Counterblast 1 and discard a card from hand. Perform all of the effects below according to the number of rearguards you called during this turn. 3 or more, this unit gets 15k and it crits until end of that battle. 4 or more, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand to Guardian Circle until end of that battle. So it is Raven-haired, just different.
Yeah, but I mean, it's reminiscent of the actual Prominence Glare. I like it. Like, I don't think it's meta-defining by any means, but like, especially with how absolutely insane V Series is. But this I like it. I think it's a pretty decent card. The issue is it being a promo. Who the hell knows when it'll come out here? It'll be like 5 years, and we'll finally get it, and people will be like, "Oh, cool! Now I can add it to my binder."
Yeah. I don't see this really doing anything much for the deck. I mean, you can build a non-Liberator deck now, I guess. That's the cool. But, I mean, I don't see this being any better than Spectral Duke because the restand is just better. And, I mean, this will only be good if you play it with, what's his nuts?
Percival?
Yeah, Percy. I was like, who's the guy that's really busted that I can't remember the name of?
You want to play it with Percival just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, but I really, that's the only way I can really see it being any kind of good. And it'd be good purely because it'd be like, I have 15 Excel markers. Get down on your hands and knees and beg for mercy. Something like that.
As I vomit hand and win the game because
vomit hand.
In attacks.
I win.
For some reason. Okay, so next off on the list is the order card for Stoicheia for the trial deck, start deck, whatever, is out. It was leaked through the monthly Bushy Road. It's a grade 2 order card. It's actually a blitz order card. Very important there. Blitz orders can only be played during the guard step. Skill is choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 5k until end of that battle. If you have 3 or more back row units, it gets power plus 15k instead of the 5k. So, no, I find that quite interesting. Obviously, I think I know Dragon Empire will be able to get around it a little bit because of Irina being able to pop. You can just pop a unit, so just pop a back row unit. But and then I think the Imprison ability will for Brentgate stuff will be able to get around it too. But the fact that this is a card and it's a blitz order, it's going to be playing mind games with your opponent. And that's what's very important. And that's what we've wanted in V Series. That's what we've wanted back from G, because it was just so awesome to be able to have that added ability of I might have this card in my hand and you might have to worry about me all of a sudden gaining 15k to one of my units that you're swinging at. So I like that a lot. Just the mind game element and the confirmation that we know they are not giving up on blitz orders. Blitz orders will be a thing going into overdress. So very excited about that.
I'm stoked. I saw that it was a blitz order, and I was like, oh my lord, who made this up? But it wasn't made up. Because I originally saw it on Facebook, and I was like, whoa, okay, who made this card? But then they confirmed it in the monthly Bushiroad, and I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, help my soul. I absolutely love it. I feel like it was made to because as we know, Keter gets really big numbers, and so do Dark State. They can get some pretty beefy numbers. The ones that don't get as big of numbers that we know of right now are the other three nations. And Stoicheia, they swing for pretty decent numbers. You can get a defensive trigger, it's fine. Dragon Empire, they get up there on their with their Counterblast 1, but it's still 20 somethings usually, unless they Persona Ride. And then you have Brant Gate that looks like pretty low numbers, just heavy control.
Right. So Empire can get up to some numbers, man.
Well, yeah, but it just requires more resources than.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. That's mostly attributed to the overdress mechanic itself, because but it can get up to some beefy. It can get up to 40k, 40k, high 40s, like pretty relatively.
Yeah, it's just I say that because it's a lot harder for that to do it. Keter and Dark States will get up there more often and more frequently. So I feel like the plus 15k is fine, and I quite like it because those decks have no control aspect to them. They're just, I'm big numbers. Here's your face. I'm going to beat it. But I absolutely love the confirmation of blitz orders. It makes me stoked. I'm hoping in the set we see some more blitz orders for the other four nations because I would love that.
Me too, for sure. All right, and then going into, speaking of Keter, going into Keter's order card was finally revealed. Not quite what we expected, but still a good card. If you want to read that.
So it is the Hour of Holy Judgment cometh. It is a grade 3 normal order. Play this with cost of Counterblast 2. You draw 2 cards, choose one of your units. It gets power plus 5k until end of turn. It's quite good in all honesty. There's only 2 cards in Keter right now that use Counterblast, and they're only Counterblast 1, and you don't necessarily need to use it if you're getting a free plus 5k and draw 2 off of this one. So that's pretty cool, especially because the grade 3 that gains 5k only gets it for the end of that battle, and the grade 1 gives the 5k only to Vanguard. So you can pick and choose where to use your Counterblast since they don't use a whole lot of it. But it's also a very future-proofed, in a way, card where it's mixable with anything. You can have a down the road and be like, oh, I'm missing some kind of draw power. How do I get around that? Oh, play a couple of this. I like it. It's not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting some way to stack a 3 or some way to have your grade 3s get shield value, but I mean, this works.
Yeah, drawing 2 cards is never a bad thing. Ask Pot of Greed. But no, I think it's a pretty solid card. Again, I completely agree. Not like what we were expecting at all. Kind of hoping for something that stacked a grade 3. But yeah, like you said too, deck is not very Counterblast heavy, so that helps it as well. And then moving on to the next reveal, which was last night's reveal. It was a grade 2 for Stoicheia. It is Looting Petal Stamalia. Grade 2, 10k power, 5k shield. Act Rearguard Circle once per turn. Cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. And until end of turn, this unit gets boost and power plus 5k. So a 15k booster. Very, very nice.
Yeah, not really the best usable with Magnolia, but I don't think that was the intention.
Yeah,
it'd probably be for that first Magnolia turn, if anything.
It's definitely clearly for this Grand Blue inspired Stoicheia deck. But yeah, you can obviously throw it in whatever still. But I think it's more meant for this. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the cards revealed today. The grade 1. Grade 1, if you want to read that one.
Grade 1, Rancor Chain. Grade 1, 8k power, 5k shield. Act, Vanguard Circle, once per turn. Cost, Soul Blast 1, draw 2 cards. Choose up to 1 order card from your hand, discard it. If you did not discard, choose 2 cards from your hand and discard them. And then Continuous Rearguard, if you played an order this turn, this unit costs 2k. So that obviously, it's a free draw too. You got to discard a card, but we can get into that a little later when we talk about the orders that are from this deck.
Yeah, and you want to discard the order, and you'll be able to recover the order as well, and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, quite like it. It's a solid grade 1. Solid grade 1.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then moving on to the grade 2, it is called Black Tears Husk Dragon, or what I call it, aka Tears for Fears Dragon.
Jesus.
I'm old enough to understand this pun. If people are not old enough to understand this pun, I apologize, because I'm going to be making a lot of puns. Tears for Fears Dragon skill. Power is 10k. Shield is 5k. Auto. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, choose up to 1 of your normal orders from your drop and put it into your hand. And then Continuous Rearguard Circle, if you played an order this turn, this unit gets power plus 5k. So this is a pretty spicy card, especially being able to recover the order from your grade 1. It's, you could say, it makes me head over heels. It makes me want to shout. The fact that this card even exists in Stoicheia proves that it is indeed a mad world. Stoicheia fans, just, you know, they're just gonna want to be ruling the world. All my puns are over. Those are all Tears for Fears songs. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Great. So the main grade 3 of the set for Stoicheia is going to be Mysterious Rain Spiritualist, Zorga. Grade 3, 13k power and the Persona Ride ability. Continuous Vanguard Circle. When you would play a normal order, you can bind a normal order with a different card name from your drop. And Alchemagic. Combine the costs and add the effect to the back. Act, Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, cost, Counterblast 1, choose a card from your drop zone and call it to Rearguard Circle. So it's actually quite cool, because orders have the restriction of hard once per turn. You can only play 1 order a turn. This essentially says, I want to bend that rule, so I'm pay cost and play 2 a turn. And then on top of that, it does the Grand Blue calling stuff back to drop from Rearguard Circle. So now the only thing they need is to have Dragon Empire bind, and then it'll be Narukami and Grand Blue all over again.
No. Yeah, so Alchemagic, I'm saying, I've been calling it Alchemagic. He clearly is a necromancer, and he gets drunk, and then he performs magic.
Yeah, he's loaded. And he's like, I can't remember the ruling, 1 card or 2. Heck it, let's do 2.
Whatever. That's my joke too. Like, yeah, he gets drunk. It has nothing to do with alchemy. He just gets drunk and then performs magic. All All right, and then so the order cards. Let's go into them. The grade 1 order card is called Spiritual Body Condensation. Grade 1 normal order. Play this with cost Soul Blast 1. Choose a card with grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from your drop. Call it to rearguard circle, and it gets power +5 until end of turn.
That's pretty cool. It stays true to the Grand Blue theme of calling stuff from drop. I quite like that.
Yes, and just giving it a little buff, 5K buff.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Yeah, and that just gives me grief, despair, and
The other order card.
that's the grade 3 order card, yeah. So you play it with a counterblast 1. If your Vanguard is Mysterious, Reign, Spiritualist, Zorga, so it's specific, choose 3 of your units, and they get power +10K until end of turn. So this essentially is a Persona Ride. You give the +10K buff of Persona Ride, but here's the kicker: you can do Persona Ride on top of it. So that's pretty cool. So +10K buff to the front row. Oh, hey, +10K buff again, because of reasons. And since it is specific for Zorga, you can't use it with Magnolia, which is amazing because if it was usable with Magnolia, Stoicheia best deck. Like there wouldn't be a conversation about it. They'd be like, oh, not only can I give front triggers and Persona Ride and stuff to my front row, but now my back row just gets +10K buff. So I'm glad they at least thought about it and didn't mess up, because Bushy is notorious for not thinking. They just do. And then we put ourselves in a V series situation. But
I like this, and then I'm going to go over some of the rulings and stuff real quick with Alchemagic. So it says here, when 2 order cards become 1 Alchemagic, when a normal order is played, 2, bind a normal order from your drop, and then the bound card's cost and effects will be applied, and then activate the effects of 2 order cards at once. So this is also helping with some of that, some of what could possibly become a problem of being able to constantly recover your order cards. So the actual cost of playing the Alchemagic is basically binding and getting rid of one of your order cards, but you're activating the 2 effects at the same time. Quite nice. So then with that, at the cost of Soul Blast 1 and Counterblast 1, you can call 1 from drop and give it power +5K. And then you can also choose 3 units and give them power +10K. So that is quite nice. Some of the Q&A regarding Alchemagic is the question: when Mysterious Reign Spiritualist Zorga is not on the field, can you Alchemagic? No, you cannot, clearly. If you used Alchemagic, will it be regarded as playing an order card twice? No, you cannot, because an order card can only be played once. So the effect is making you use it twice, basically. And then when you're using Alchemagic, how should the process of binding an order card, paying the cost for 2 order cards, and then the 2 effects be resolved? So it says, 1, specify that you're playing a normal order from your hand, and then at that moment, bind a normal order from your drop, then pay the costs for both the normal orders played from hand and the normal order bound. Then you resolve the effects of the normal orders played from hand, then the normal order bound. So just to clear some stuff up there, clarification, I think most people kind of understand that, but some people might have a hard time. This is new to most people. So yeah. Thoughts on Alcoholic Magic?
I think it's pretty crunk. I took my opportunity and I took that shot. Yeah, no, I quite like it. I think that it is a really cool way of introducing, because now they have the ride deck, which means you can play almost as many orders as you want to. You just sacrifice shield instead of consistency. And I quite like that. Because, I mean, you can even play blitz orders. They don't count towards this ability, though, which I like. Otherwise, it'd be kind of busted. Um, so I like it. I also like the fact that you're basically, when you go to play, as of right now, there'll only be two normal orders that we know of for Stoicheia. So that means you play one and bind the other. And then whatever copy you bound, I would assume you would want to play that next and bind the one. And you would kind of just trade off. So it's not like you're getting screwed over right away, unless if you can't play that way or don't play that way. So I like that it's like, oh yeah, you can continuously use this ability as long as you have them, and it's not insanely busted effects. It's plus 10k buff and you call it, dude, with 5k. That's not insanely busted, unless if you persona ride and you have 12 attacks. But this isn't V series, so I like it. I honestly do. The one thing that I know we had talked about, that worries me a bit would be coming out with more orders. But my thought process on that is that they're probably going to give Stoicheia more blitz orders than regular orders. Or when they come out with a new mechanic that they're supporting, they're going to support that with orders that don't really work with him. So I think that's how they're going to balance it, in my opinion. Which
Yeah.
would make
Yeah, because we had the conversation, just to clarify for some people too, we had the conversation before we were recording about this guy and how good he is, how powerful he is, just right off the bat. He's really good. But he's going to become more and more better the more and more Overdress goes on. And the more and more they come out with Stoicheia normal order cards. So they do have to watch it a little bit on what they do in the future around this guy. And yeah, you're right. Maybe they come out with more blitz orders for other clans and stuff, and maybe or not other clans. Jesus Christ, other variants of Stoicheia, and then maybe they stick mostly normal orders to this guy, and then maybe those normal orders are splashable in other Stoicheia decks or something. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, like you said, possibly normal orders coming out in the future are restricted, kind of like how we see with this grade 3 order. Yeah, I think that they will have to be careful for sure, but yeah, I think they could manage it. It's not super difficult right now, but
yeah.
from past Bushy experiences, it it makes me a little skittish.
Yeah.
Gives me a little bit of PTSD.
Excel PTSD specific.
Yes, PTSD. I'm afraid of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I think the best way to do it would be kind of like how they're doing now, because we know that they're going to keep these two archetypes for a bit before switching on to another. So maybe they will be all like, oh, we're going to evolve further on Magnolia's archetype, and they're going to get more Blitz Order stuff to compensate for all these twos. So then this guy won't have as much support, just maybe one order a set, which I would like. I would like if they did something like that. They just got to be careful. And I think the same thing kind of goes for the rest of these clans, these nations too. On just be careful with what you're doing, because I know another thing that we were talking about was with Keter and grade 3s. These new grade 3s they come out with that are going to be the set bosses. As long as they don't have really good rear guard skills, I think that's a good way to balance that, because you can be like, oh, I'll play him, but you don't really want him on Vanguard if Apex is your whole entire theme of your deck. So I think that'd be the best way to do that. And like with Brantgate, just make sure you don't come out with a whole bunch of like Chaos Breaker units that just all of a sudden start locking, and it's all like, whoa. And then they're like, yeah. You could get into literally every nation how they're going to do it, but they just got to be really careful with how they do it. And I think it shouldn't be super hard to manage as long as they play their cards right, pun intended.
All right, and then they did also reveal the Sentinel cards that are coming out for in the actual set one. They revealed some of them and their names, and then the Dragon Empire one is called Twin Buckler Dragon, and he has a somewhat different Sentinel ability. So it's Continuous Sentinel. You may have only up to 4 cards with Continuous Sentinel in a deck. And then Auto. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of that battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So it's not a cost anymore. In order to actually basically activate the PG, you would have to discard a card, and then PG. This is you are automatically PGing, and you are forced to discard a card, which is interesting. And then also, if your hand, these are the only 2 cards you got in your hand is the Sentinel and something else. You throw this guy on to Guardian Circle. Now you've only got 1 card in your hand. Now you don't have to pay the discard cost, or not cost, but the discarding. You don't have to discard now.
Yeah.
So I find that quite interesting. Yeah, I think the only issue I can really think of with this is if they do cards in the future that require multiple guards.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what was that first card in V Series that did it? I can't remember his name.
Oh, that was
Battledore.
Yeah, Battledore, where you had to have, I think it was like 2 or 3 more on Guardian Circle at a time.
Yeah, something like that. And then we started seeing more and more cards in V Series come out with abilities like that.
Yeah, you have to guard 2 or more at the same time. That's what it was.
So the problem with that is throwing this guy before. You could throw out like a 15k shield, and then you got like 4 different Sentinels in hand, and you're like, yeah, I can just waste one of them. So let me throw down this dude, and now I've got 2 Guardians in the Guardian Circle. Now I met that condition, whatever. Now with this, you have to, if you were doing that, you'd still have to discard. So I don't like that. But that's, again, going off of past experiences with V Series and how they handled it and how piss poor they handled it. So hopefully they don't do that. And hopefully. Sorry, guys. There was a technical issue there on Dekin's end. So I'm going to finish out the video real quick. We were talking about PGs. Just wanted to say that I was trying to finish up the thought there that I quite liked the fact that the PGs were rare now instead of triple R, because, or not triple R, double R. So makes them a little bit easier to obtain. That's all. But just needed to finish out the video. Let you guys know that we will be back later in the week with some more content for you. And then we'll, of course, keep trying to update you as well anytime new Overdress news comes out. And also expect we're going to be doing some playtesting and stuff with some of the start deck stuff, hopefully soon. So that's it. Like, subscribe, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Bye.